Oscar Piastri takes his fifth win, third of the campaign, and becomes the first Aussie to lead the championship since Webber in 2010. My God, that makes me feel so old. That was not 15 years ago. His performance today, he went for the lead off the line, challenging Verstappen, kept the tyres alive enough to hold on to the back of Verstappen, and then the penalty was obviously enough to give him track position. How high do you rate his performance today? And is he the champion, not champion elect, but is he the lead for the championship?
I mean, I think sort of the reason that I would say that yes, he is the lead for the championship, me answering that first, is that it sort of was indicative of his, or it was evident, sorry, in his performance today. The fact that he didn't sort of sit there and think, oh, I need to get past Verstappen, I need to get past Verstappen, and burn his tires up or cause himself, any tire life issues. Just the ability to know that, right, okay, I've got the lap time speed in the bag. We are the fastest car, you know, even compared to what happened in qualifying. It's Max, so of course he found a 100th of a second to outqualify me by. But I got him off the start. I kept a cool head. He felt the need to, dive across the runoff area, doing his, doing his Max's usual trick of claiming that he was run off the circuit when he wasn't going to make the corner anyway. And he kept his head till the first pit stop, and once he was ahead, it was just about managing the gap. He took the life out of the tyres when you needed to, so getting past Lewis later in the race, just after that first pit stop, and ensuring that he had the clean air on his tyres. But other than that, he didn't sort of lose his head. And didn't think, oh, I need to get past when the guy's going to get a penalty anyway. Just make sure that you make use of that. We'll get them at the stop, even with a slightly slow stop for McLaren there. But apart from that, he ran his own race. Had the confidence to do that, and I think it's kind of indicative of Oscar as a whole. Is that he's he's quite a cool customer, and clearly has enough talent to be able to be thinking about everything else, and therefore, doesn't feel the need or the impatience to try and win every race. He didn't need to do anything in that first stint. They give up the points at the end, not the beginning. And I think he just remembered that, kept that in mind, and made up the time in the pit stop. And once he was there, he just controlled it from there.
Yeah, he's scarily cool. He's just kind of one of those people you just think he's unflappable, and that must be difficult as well if you're the one chasing him to think this guy's not going to make a mistake. You might not be the overall outright fastest over every single lap of the race, but he's never going to make a mistake. If you're behind him, you're not getting past him. But I did notice today a slight little bit hot under the collar in the closing stages when he was getting caught in traffic. There was a little bit there, and it's nice to see a bit of emotion from him. So perhaps maybe a slight chink in the armor, probably not. He just lost a couple of seconds in traffic, and he was probably a little bit annoyed about that. But no, it's an incredibly rounded performance from Oscar Piastri, and he's definitely a deserved championship leader. He's been by far the best driver. He's been the best driver in the best car.